Ooh, spicy, beautiful apple notes. There's a nice darkness emanating out of this cocktail. This is the cocktail to represent Season 3, Episode 1 of The Wheel of Time, Race to the Shadows. This cocktail is called Racing the Shadows. Let's dive in on how to make it. Can't believe I get to say this, but The Wheel of Time is back, and of course that means After the Weave is back. That's right, that's a talk show where I break down every episode of The Wheel of Time with my co-host. This season we have a new co-host joining us. But let's get into the cocktail that we designed for Season 3, Episode 1 of The Wheel of Time. This episode is titled Race to the Shadow. The cocktail is called Racing the Shadow. First thing you're going to need is a ice cube. This is a special ice cube. This is an ice cube or an ice ball that I made, and it is mixed with silver glitter and black charcoal powder. This is tossed in to represent the darkness throughout the entire episode and the silver flecks of the mirrors that get shattered within the episode. To this very special ball of ice, we are going to add some very fun ingredients. First ingredient we're going to use is apple brandy, and this is, of course, to represent the apples that we see Elaine pick and that she shares with Avienda and then uses to make an apple liqueur in this episode. So we're going to use 1.5 ounces of apple brandy. Next, to represent all the fireballs and the chaos that was thrown around in this episode, we are going to use 1/2 ounce of Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. This is going to give us a bit of spice, a bit of heat, a little bit of the redness into it, and add a touch of flavor. Next, to represent the chaos, the destruction, the smoke, the fire, everything that goes through this entire episode, we are going to add 1/2 ounce of mezcal. So far the cocktail is not too dark, and it has a multitude of flavors to it, but the entire episode wasn't entirely bad. There were some sweet moments to it, so we're going to add a touch of sweetness that also represents a little bit of the darkness floating into the episode by using 1/4 ounce of creme de violette. Pour this in and watch the darkness begin to swirl. Now, as we drink this cocktail and as we stir it to combine and chill everything, the black charcoal and the mirrored flecks of the glitter within the ice cube are going to melt and slowly seep darkness into the cocktail as we go along. Very symbolic of the darkness that we see throughout this episode. And here, my friends, we have Racing the Shadow. Can you drink it before it goes all black? That is an amazing cocktail. You get the apple brandy that flows through and gives you a subtle touch of apple in the beginning. The mezcal adds a nice smokiness throughout the cocktail. And of course, the cinnamon fireball really adds that bit of heat, that touch of cinnamon, really kind of makes you feel red when you're drinking this cocktail. And then the creme de violette adds a nice balance and a nice sweetness to it. All together combined makes a very complex, beautiful mouthfeel, beautiful sip every time you take a sip of this cocktail. And of course, just like the episode, it gets darker the longer you drink it or the longer you consume it. Cheers, my friends. I hope everyone has a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed Season 3, Episode 1 of Wheel of Time. We'll catch you again next time. Cheers.